Okay, so here we've got the scenario, right? I've noticed reports of issues with VMs with no NICs, and I finally narrowed it down to just have open screen here. I've got the console and two VMs. One's a SQL one, the main controller, and the common theme here is I've narrowed it down to that they're all on 681 ESX06, right? I messed around with one. So we're on 03386. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to vmotion this guy off to another guy. I'm going to vmotion him off to 01 set. Let's see what happens. I actually haven't done this for real. Just messed around with one before I realized what the common theme was. So he's vmotioning. Might lose console access. Remember now he's got no nicks here. I'd done it on a Linux VM and I had to do a reboot for the NIC to come back. Hoping maybe on a Windows host might be different. So waiting for a connection while we're doing that. Should be able to go to settings. No, I can't. I must wait. Come on, baby boy. Yeah, so like if I go to settings, I should have shown you this beforehand, but everything looks fine here. It's connected to its VX, LAN, etc., etc. All of this is fine. It all checks out. Whatnot. You can see that this has migrated. Okay, so we haven't picked up a NIC, right? That's interesting. I was interested to know if we would pick up a NIC or not. What I've done on the Linux host is I rebooted several times. The Linux VM I was playing with, I rebooted several times when I was in ESX08, and the NIC never came back. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reboot this guy. Probably got to do it from a command prompt, do I? Shutdown /R, isn't it? Reboot it here. I'm going to pause the recording here. Okay, so we're back. I've rebooted the host and you can see, voila, same host, Nick is back. So I can do pings around because I dug into this VM, ping 192.168.1.16, that's the SLES 12 VM. Or is it? Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm still host. 1.82. Yeah, I can ping probably the SLES 12 cousin for this guy. His peer is probably also on this ESX08 host. And say I can ping 29. That's not a VM inside in this VApp. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to migrate this guy back onto 08, and I'm going to pause this VM. I'm going to pause the session again. So you can see it's currently on 81 ESX01, and I'm not going to reboot. I'm just going to migrate it and see what happens. Okay, so resuming, we've migrated. We can see that we're on 81.06. We're back to the original host. Do a few pings around, and haven't lost my NIC. It's interesting. This is news to me. Have I lost my NIC? I haven't. Okay, so I haven't lost my NIC. But pings are dropping. 1.82. Okay, so this is news to me. I hadn't tried this before on a live system. So I have my NIC, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reboot this machine. So shutdown /R, and we're back on my troublesome host. I'll show you about him now in a minute, and I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause this and get back to it. We're at 4:27. Okay, so I rebooted the host, and I'm going to check his NIC. He's back in 06. His NIC is gone. Okay, so something is weird, and the weird thing that I found on this guy is when I look at his VXLAN interface, and I'm theorizing with Vladimir on chat here about this, is he's got this subnet mask. All of the hosts and everything has a /24. It makes no sense, because when you look at all your hosts, they're all on the 144 subnet. So a /23 and a /24 should be able to talk to each other, talk over and back. Same broadcast, you'd have the same broadcast. When you think about it, you have the same broadcast. I just can't figure this out. Really. Said just again to review, go down. It's here. It's a /24. What I'm going to try and do, I suppose, is, what am I doing? Is I'm going to try and edit this. IP settings, set it to that. Okay. And I'm going to close that. And what I'm going to do again now is I'm going to go and reboot this host again and see what the fluck happens. Okay, I'll pause this again. Okay, so I've rebooted this host. Still on. Changed the subnet mask on ESX06 back to the correct one. Rebooted host. Still missing its NIC. So going to migrate it off onto, say, 01, and verify that its NIC will come back, and verify that I'll be able to ping it. Okay. And then I'm going to then, once it's migrated off, I'll migrate it back on. Right, it should stay up. I'll make sure that its IP is talking fine, and it's going to be on 01, and I'll migrate onto 06, back onto 06, and see how it works. Okay, so I've emotioned this onto ESX01 again. My NIC rebooted, my NIC came back. You can see I can ping. My NIC is back, I can ping, so I'm going to vmotion this back onto ESX06 again, but this time with the new subnet mask, and see how she rolls. Okay, so now we're back again in ESX06. See, I've had a couple of successful pings when I was on the other ESX. 29 drops. And what was the other one? 82 drops. So today what I'm going to do now is I'm going to power this down, this actual VM. I'm going to migrate it onto ESX01. I'm going to put ESX. I'm just going to put ESX08 into maintenance mode, reboot it. Or sorry, ESX06 into maintenance mode, then reboot it, take it out of the cluster, and see if the reboot, if I need to like get it re-prepared or something like that. In I need to get it re-prepared in vcns or whatnot. So I'll do that now, and I'll pause. Okay, so I took the host out of the cluster, put into maintenance, saw the agents uninstalled, rebooted, added back into the host. I took out maintenance, added back into the host, and it's bombing out here on installing the agents. Now the one thing about these hosts is these are not these are local hosts, these MFS booting, they're not auto deploy, so I shouldn't have to apply a host profile. I imagine. So a small bit of loss here now. I'll poke around a bit more here. I expected this. Of course, vcns is crying. It's not happy at all, so I need to figure this out. Okay, so I'll pause here.